I'm tracking without bass, right?
Enchot sunte nahi hai. So I got called on board to do a show with Inalab a little over a year ago, I think. And at that point, my association with Inalab was only through 2 songs, one of which completely blew my mind. I remember listening to it for the first time when it had come out, watching the music video, and just absolutely being awestruck by just how delicately the song had been treated in terms of the composition, but how gritty and grimy and absolutely in your face it was. It just freaking destroyed me. And that song was BONZO. And one was this song called ILLUMINATE, which had been released at that time, which was very different. It had that cinematic kind of vibe to it, very like larger than life, but at the same time kind of reined in with some solid electronic work and really well thought out grooves, and the rhythm section was just kind of carrying it with so much else going on top of it, like really great synth work and whatnot. It was 2 days before the show. The drummer had backed out and Gaurav needed a drummer. So I got called on board. I said yes. Who even says yes like less than 2 days before a show? But I did it, and I got sent this set list. Now, at that time I wasn't feeling great, and I would end up playing this show with like 103 temperature or something. But I got sent the set list, and I had to start getting down to work because I had to make my notes and make sure I knew the songs. And one of the first songs I rewound and listened to again, despite having written down my notes, was Commons. I think that was the hook point for me. That was when I was convinced that if this project ever did need a permanent drummer on board, I would be more than happy to join, because it was just such a phenomenal song.
Whenever I write a song, the skeleton of the song, which is, you know, the drum and bass, that's what comes out of me first. And I cannot imagine writing with a drummer better than Suyash Gabriel, because he'll take any idea that you have and multiply it by leaps and bounds and make it so huge that you cannot imagine coming back to your own ideas. And to even get validation from him that he likes a part that you've written really means a lot to me, you know. And I've loved the guy's work since I've, you know, seen him play for the first time. So to work with him on this EP on each and every song was just an absolute honor.
A lot of the grooves that had been programmed initially just sounded so good. I didn't want to tamper a lot with that. But of course, here and there, I added my own flavor. I, of course, definitely wanted to have a blast during the so-called drum solo section. I had done a drum playthrough of this song for my YouTube channel. And in that, I had played a drum solo which was kind of flashy. But when I approached it in the studio, in my head, I just had this image of a jungle, and I kind of wanted to replicate that orally, however possible. And I just played around with the toms as much as possible and tried to give it that really primal kind of vibe.
With a person like Suyash, who has all the chops in the world, and they're so refined and so polished that he could actually launch into this torpedo of multiple solos in those tiny 8 bars. But just for the sake of the song, the guy holds back so much just to provide it that much more meat and body, and comes up with these beautiful, like, you know, tom driven parts which have so much of groove attached to it, but yet you can actually tell that a very intelligent musician's playing it. So I really love what he came up with, because in my head I was thinking of like a very groove driven thing, and he's done something similar but a totally different interpretation that any of us could have ever imagined, I feel. So that part just takes it to another level for, you know, for what he's done.